Hey, this is Stop Stressing and Start Living with me, Dennis Crosby. And today I want to talk about pain. And in particular, the avoidance of pain. And what we need to do to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Be comfortable with discomfort. And this was inspired by a conversation I had with a new friend of mine. He is going through a divorce of 10 years or so. I think it was like 10 years. Kids, wife, the whole shebang. And we were talking, and the way we connected was he overheard me telling somebody else how I've gone through the journey of not knowing who I was and what I cared about and that whole process. So he came over to talk to me, and he was like, how do you do that? How do you figure out who you are and what you like? Because my identity was wrapped around my divorce and my marriage and my children. And while we were talking about that, he said something really interesting, because I was saying one of the first things you need to do is learn to be alone with yourself. And his response was, I hate being alone. Like, I hate being alone. I hate that feeling of being lonely. Which was interesting, because there's a big difference between being alone and feeling lonely. But that's a topic for another day. And I asked him why, and like, what's the situation, and what came up was essentially it was painful for him to be alone. When he was alone, he felt all those feelings of not having his wife, not having his kids, not knowing who he was. He felt all that discomfort, and he'd rather run away from it to the bar, the club, whatever, and these are all real things that he ran away to, than sit with that discomfort and see what's on the other side of it. And as much as I want to point the finger and be like, hey, yeah, you're weak, blah, 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 you can't handle it, I do the same thing. I have done the same thing multiple times. My last relationship of 3 years, I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that it wasn't going to work, that it was not going to make it the long term. I knew it. And yet I decided to just ride it out than to cut the cord and free us both up. And I would love to say one day that changed, but it didn't. She had to make the decision. She's the one who had to decide that enough was enough and cut the cord, because I wasn't strong enough to do it. I wasn't willing to go through the pain, the discomfort of making that break. So it's human. We all do it, but that doesn't mean we all have to keep doing it. That doesn't mean we can't take the first step of breaking that. Now, I'm sure while you're listening to this, you're thinking of a situation in your life where you've done the same thing. I'm sure you could fill up a sheet of paper with it. I know I could fill up a whole book with the amount of times that I've done this. And it's okay. I want you to know it's okay. There's a good story that was told to me recently that the air conditioner was only recently invented. The first home AC unit was in like the 60s. And what do you think we did before the air conditioner came out? Those thousands of years before the AC came out, what do you think we did? We sweated. We were uncomfortable in the heat. And I think that's a great metaphor for where we have become as a civilization, as a people, especially in the West, where we don't want to be uncomfortable. We don't want to sweat anymore. Like, we'll do anything we can to be comfortable in our homes, feeling that AC on a hot day, versus being out there and sweating and being uncomfortable. So today I want you to sweat. Sounds like a song. No, today I want you to sweat. I want you to pick one thing that you feel like you're avoiding. Don't make it something big if you're not inspired to make a huge change right now. It can be something really small. But find that one thing you're avoiding right now because it feels uncomfortable. You might think it's painful. You might feel a lot of resistance in yourself. You might feel afraid that something bad will happen if you do it. But you still know you need to do it. Pick that one area, that one thing, and do something about it. Get uncomfortable. Go out and sweat today. Sweat like you mean it. Like you're just walking into a sauna and the sweat's pouring all through your body. Like, that's how uncomfortable I want you to get today. I want you to charge right into it, because if something's worth doing, do it now. Unlock that trapped energy you have inside yourself surrounding the situation, whether big or small. It's held up inside of you, I promise you. So get it out of you. Go embrace uncomfortableness. And then do one more thing for me. If you're watching this on YouTube, comment below when you did something, when you took that action. If you're listening to the podcast, go to my website, DennisCrosby.com, scroll down to the contact form at the bottom, and then send me a message that you did it. Show me that you're an action taker, that you can do this, and also feed my own ego to know that I helped, right? All right, so that's all I have for you today. Thank you for spending your time with me. I know time is our most valuable resource. This is the one thing we can't buy any more of. So the fact that you're spending time with me and now you're about to go out and do what I suggested makes me really happy. All right, talk to you next time. Take care.